Energy has played a crucial part in the history of human civilization. Energy has directly become the lifeblood of a nation's growth ever since the beginning of the industrial age. Countries with energy storage may naturally see very strong economic growth, but those with depleted resources may experience a state of collapse. So obtaining a substantial supply of exploitable energy is essential for a nation's development. Coal continues to be one of the most common energy sources in human culture today. Do you know where the world's largest coal field is located? In this video, I'll give you a description of a massive coal field with 180,000 square kilometers of land and 310 billion tons of reserves. We appreciate you seeing the video. Why don't you support China prowess? Together, let's look into additional worthwhile endeavors throughout the globe. In the eastern United States, there is a mountain range that runs from Canada through the whole eastern portion of North America for a distance of around 3,200 kilometers. It is Appalachia, this mountain range. With 27.6% of global reserves, the nearby Appalachian coalfield is the biggest coalfield in the world. According to the Appalachian coalfield's current annual mining output, it has a total length of around 1,200 kilometers, a breadth that ranges from 50 to 300 kilometers, and a total area of 180,000 square kilometers. For more than 800 years, Americans may continuously use it. China alone can use 4 billion tons of coal a year, while the total amount produced worldwide in 2021 will be 8.173 billion tons. The amount of coal produced by the Appalachian coalfields has drawn even greater attention precisely because of the high rate of coal resource use. Due to the abundance of coal deposits in the Appalachian area, it has slowly given rise to a number of related industries, including steel and power. Additionally, the growth of these businesses directly supports regional economic growth. A good quality of coal with a very high sulfur content and high calorific value for burning is produced in the eastern section of the Appalachian coalfield. Western coal production is of lower grade, not as excellent as eastern-made goods. The Appalachian coalfields have about 3 billion tons of total reserves of usable coal. 9% of Canada's total reserves come from only one coalfield in Appalachia, which produces the majority of the coal used in the United States. The Appalachian coal resources are abundant in reserves and offer a wide range of products. In general, coal is a type of fossil resource, and as such, its area cannot be determined only by the covering area, but rather primarily by the depth at which it is stored. The Appalachian coalfield's coal seam may normally reach a thickness of roughly 1 kilometer right now. The northeast-southwest direction of the Appalachian coalfield, which is currently America's principal export coal base, is particularly beneficial for manual collection since the carbon layers in these areas are high, between 1.7 meters and 100 meters above the earth. Therefore, mining employees make no effort. Additionally, as a result of this, mining costs in the Appalachian coalfields are far cheaper than those in other coalfields. Then, how did the world's best coal form for the reason that coal formed? The idea that it was created by extinct plants is the one that is most widely held throughout the world. The main components of coal's makeup are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The fundamental structure of these elements is remarkably comparable to that of plants. Before coal was formed, around 400 million years ago, there was a factory that took up a considerable amount of area and acted as the precursor of coal. Roughly half of all of the coal that is mined now underwent some sort of transformation in facilities that were active during the Carboniferous period. Because of the exceptionally luxuriant vegetation on land, the atmosphere at that period contained the largest concentration of oxygen in the history of the Earth. It is possible that the oxygen concentration is as high as 40%, which is significantly greater than the current amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. In general, the transformation of plants into coal takes roughly 300,000 years to complete. As a direct consequence of this, distinct types of coal are produced on the ground at various periods throughout the year. However, the majority of coal was formed during the Carboniferous period, and the Appalachian coalfields are a remnant of that time period. The Carboniferous period lasted around 350 million years. During the Carboniferous age, there was a period of time where the Earth was home to a plethora of carbon element plants that were able to take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and grow. In addition, The terrain of the Appalachian region caused them to be progressively twisted and modified by the extrusion movement of the crust. This continued until they ultimately built a massive coal field with extraordinary thickness. This method proves to us not only that coal is a resource that does not replenish itself, but also that its worth is self-evident. As a result of the expansion of the economy, a diverse range of options for sources of energy are currently available. However, coal remains an inevitable choice, at least for the foreseeable future. As a result, we ought to treat it with respect and not throw it away. It is going to happen throughout the 1860s. The United States had just finished putting an end to a war. The United States government is making significant strides toward developing the Appalachian coal resources in order to give the economy an additional boost. According to the statistics that are available for the United States, the nation has also gained a sizable profit from exporting electricity that was created by the Appalachian coal resources, and it has continued to increase these resources after realizing the benefits that they provide. The Appalachian coalfields have the potential to deliver economic benefits to the United States that are measured in the billions of dollars annually. Therefore, in addition to the largest coal fields in the world, which are located in the United States and are known as the Appalachian coalfields, China boasts a very sizable coal field known as the Dongxing coalfield. The Dongxing coalfield may be found in the northwest section of Shaanxi province and the southern part of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. This region is home to around 20.04 billion tons worth of known coal deposits. It is possible that northern China is home to a vast coal field. The Dongxing coalfield appears to be in an advantageous position for future development. According to the findings of the most recent exploratory work, the Dongxing coalfield is an excellent location for coal mining due to the fact that the majority of the coal produced there is of good quality, has a high calorific value, and generates very little ash. Of the inquiry, the Dongxing coalfield covers an area of approximately 22,860 square kilometers, and it is anticipated that the Jurassic Dongxing coalfield's coal bearing straight up would contain more than 600 billion tons of reserves. For China, a country that has a significant demand for coal, there is no cause for alarm over the insufficient amount of coal output. Only this one production sector has to be expanded in order to satisfy the demand. Not to mention, China is a huge country with a wealth of natural resources and a multitude of coal fields. The nation has a significant need for conventional energy sources such as coal and oil. But in today's world, every government needs to be aware that mining without any regard for the environment is not a viable plan. The discovery of sources of high-quality energy ought to be the primary objective of our efforts. Our efforts are focused on locating a new energy source that can be used to supplant these non-renewable energy sources while simultaneously reducing the amount of pollution produced and improving energy efficiency. Even though there are still a significant lot of unutilized resources on the planet, none of them are renewable. Thus, they will all be exhausted at some point. If fresh resources are not discovered, ultimately the human populace as a whole will be forced to suffer considerable losses. What we can do is make the preservation of the environment and the adoption of lifestyles that produce less carbon as a daily priority in order to give ourselves more opportunities in the future. Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.